Hey, beautiful kings and queens, come on in here. We are here for another episode of The Floor is Yours. I hope y'all ready. We're a little bit late. We on CP again. I know y'all be talking about us, but it's okay because we still finna come in here and kill this thing. So, Gerard, drop the intro. It wasn't supposed to be no clicks. You was supposed to be ready.
They the rawest new podcast, who want the smoke? Coming raw and uncut like who want this dope? Whatever you want, they for sure to cover the topic. From racial issues to fashion flies to cockpit. Y'all ain't never get it like this, cause they ain't never did it like this. We on our this the way the cookie crumbles for y'all. She gon' bring the inspiration to all. You know what's up with her. And this shit manifesting is a vision. And y'all gon' love TJ cause he the realest. From the heart of them all, they the start of it all. You looking for a holler and holler at Gerard. The professor, nothing lesson, coming at you with the lessons. Get your edge if you knowin' what's good for you. They educated, but they still keep it hood for you. Won't need another, this one here really do it for you.
Baby, the floor is yours. Yeah, baby, I'm in the floor is yours. If it come down to the floor is yours. Let me show you how pro the floor is yours. 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 The floor is
I just jammed through the intro every time like I ain't heard it before. It's like brand new every time I see it. Then Gerard add these new pictures and I'll be like, yes, I love it. I love it.
It's hot.
Yes. We are here for another great show. Before we get started, make sure you like the show. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Make sure you share the show on your page. We're gonna all share the show on our pages right now so our friends can watch it too. So share the show and then invite others to tune in. And we want to just get the word out there. Don't forget, if somebody don't have Facebook, Instagram, whatever, that's okay. Send them over to YouTube. We need some subscribers on there, y'all. We got to get our subscribers up on YouTube so we can get it up, get it up, get it up, and get the word out there. So thumbs up, like, follow, all that good stuff, and then talk to us today. We like when y'all talk to us and interact.
Yes.
Drew is here with me. Debbie J, what's up?
Hey, girl. What's happening, Queen?
Yes. Inspirational.
I'm ready tonight.
Oh, yes.
I got my Red Bull.
What it do, I see?
What it do, Sister Cookie? What it do? I see your hair is fabulous over there. Part down the middle, look like hang time has come back into your life, girl. And you know, I was a little bit nosy over there with you. Want make sure you try to make them damn pictures so small that nobody could peep them. But I blow stuff up. I'm like, oh, look at her.
Mute her, Mike. Mute her. Listen, y'all just been stop calling me out on this podcast.
Well, keep being missing like a long range, baby. This ass gonna be, but you know the thing about it is that you enjoying and having a good time. So I see what's happy for you. So, but I'm here, girl. I'm here. Clutch pearls.
Yes, and I heard you had an event yesterday. Participated in an event. We're gonna get to that later. I'm so excited to hear about it.
Yeah.
Yes, Gerard Flex. What's up?
Hey, in the words of I see what it do.
What it do?
What it do.
He don't do it like you, though.
Thank you, Deb. That's my girls in the bed.
But if FYI, I'm a dude, so I'm supposed to.
True that.
Well, don't do it at all then. No, I'm just saying what it do.
Tell him you might be often imitated but never duplicated. One of a kind. There it is. Hey.
Love it.
All right, y'all. So, Debbie J, thank you from the bottom of our heart for running the show last week. You killed that. I can't say that on
Fun doing it. TJ, be gone another week. I got you next week, bro.
She said she in the driver's seat, cute with her sunglasses. What is it? I
That's-
love it. I love it.
Yes.
It was a good show last week. I heard a lot of good things. We saw a lot of good feedback. We had that inbox saying that it was the best show. I'm like, yes. So recap me. Take me through there.
Okay, so last week we had Carmen Batiste on. She introduced us to her book. She read us some passages from it. We talked about it, and when I tell you, we got into some deep conversations, and it was awesome. So one of the things we talked about is your friend's ex off limits? And of course, pretty much everybody agreed, yeah, the exes are off limits. We talked about is bad sex in a relationship killer. We was kind of split 50-50 on that one. And then we talked about the very end. This was our pop-up in the show, Bow Wow, was how long should sex last? When I tell you that conversation went after the show, it was awesome. So we had some good stuff. If y'all missed any of that last week, I promise you, y'all have to go back and watch that because it was full of information, full of debate, and it was awesome. So everyone got their point of view across. And hey, you need to be watching every week anyway. So go back and watch it if you did.
Yes. You know, I'm here for a good debate. I love it. I love it when stuff gets stirred up. Then you got to sit back and watch it happen and be like,
Yeah.
So y'all don't go back and watch it. If you missed it, go get it. There's some stuff in there for you, no matter who you are. So go back and get it. Again, remember that you have liked, shared, subscribed on YouTube, all that stuff, because we want to be able to interact with y'all. Today during the show, I see everybody telling us good evening and tuning in. I love it. Talk to us. The floor is yours. We are here to hear from you and to interact with you. Interact with each other throughout our show. So today's show topic, freedom and the accountability that comes with it. So audience, as we go through the different topics today, we're going to want you to have a moment with yourself. You remember that song, who was that, Betty Wright? Nah, Peggy Scott, one of them, Betty Wright, that told them to think back to your very first time. And she told them, I'm going to give you a little bit of time because some of y'all got to think back a little bit further than others. So I want you to start thinking right now. Like, go on and put on your thinking cap because you're going to have to talk to yourself today. So if you're in an intimate relationship with someone, are you in a parent-child relationship, or do you have the freedom to be yourself? Gerard, fix it for me. What we talking about?
That's it. Hey, you gotta go. So this the thing. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, so I heard people complain that their mates are trying to control them when it comes to things like hanging out, you know, what friends are acceptable, especially when it comes to the male, female, or friendships of the opposite sex, spending money, and even how they use social media platforms like Facebook or Instagram. So to the first question, is this: how important is it to have freedom to be yourself in a relationship? Again, we're not talking about being disrespectful, you know, but being free to be yourself in a relationship. And we want IC to go ahead and lead us into that discussion.
Now, this is what I'm going to say first, because I'm looking on two different devices. Now, I'm a little slow drag over here the way y'all seeing me, because I'm seeing it from my phone. So don't pay attention to my screen. Just listen to my voice. How about that? I'm going to put a claim off in there because I'm like, wait a minute, honey, look like I'm stirring, look like I'm stuck, got my eyes closed and all of that. So I do see it, but I want y'all to know, just listen to my voice. Now, for me, the importance of the freedom in the relationship is very important to me. And it's not about wanting to do what I want to do, you know, as far as like just having my way. I want to be free to be myself. Free to do express, free to communicate, free to let you know, the things that are going on in my life, those things, just free to be me and not be confined to a box or a cage, to have to dummy down to make the person that I'm with feel, I guess, feel good. And I think so many times we get that mixed up because sometimes we say freedom. They're thinking we just want to, I want to do what I want to do, how I want to do it, when I want to do it. And that's not it. People just want to be able to just freely be them, because when 9 times out of 10, when you got in a relationship with that person, you got to see them off the top. And if you didn't, then it would just simply be that they came in with the false persona of themselves. But when you come in being who you are, I feel like it just flows into as when you go into the relationship, and it shouldn't have to change. You should already have, things laid out there about the friendships that you have and everything like that. I don't feel like, you should have to get rid of, male friends, as long as your husband or, your partner knows that friend, and you're free to introduce them to the person. There's no secrets there with that, with that relationship. I feel like you're on a good path in the relationship, and the pulse will keep, the heartbeat will still be there. So freedom to be yourself is important, and that's my take on that.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. And I think sometimes we get freedom and respect confused, because I do feel like it's a level of respect you have to have when you're in a relationship, because some of the things that you would have done when you were single and living footloose and fancy free, you just shouldn't do them when you're in a relationship, because you want to respect that person that you're with. When you're single, you have your fun. You do you do whatever it is that makes you feel good. And I've had to become accustomed and attuned and fine tuned into dealing with that. And being in a relationship, I have to kind of tone down sometimes, because I tend to be the wild one that might go jump off of some swing from some that it ain't no telling. So I have to turn down a little bit and say, okay, girl, can't be out here acting up. You got to act like you got some sense. And then I think that also comes with age, because some of the things that you would have did when you were 18, 19, 20, 21, when you 40, you ain't doing the same thing. So I do feel like you just kind of go through different life phases, and same thing comes in a relationship. Now, I will say, I ain't going to call no names because they are not here to defend themselves. But somebody on the show said that they had friends of the opposite sex, and that if they got into a relationship, that they would still be communicating with those people. They didn't feel the need to introduce their mate or partner to them people, or to have that interaction. That doesn't actually work for me. Like, as far as going to lunch and stuff with people of the opposite sex, if the person I'm with doesn't know about it, I don't feel like that's cool, because that's one of the things that I feel like falls into a category of respect. I respect you, so I'm gonna tell you what's going on. These are my friends. I'm gonna bring you around. I do have male friends, but the male friends that I have are married to my female friends. So it's kind of more of like a group thing than just, oh, I'm finna go over here with my homeboy because I've been knowing him for 5 years, so he my real good friend. Nah, that ain't gonna too much fly. So I think you just gotta know your relationship, your person that you with, and then be respectful. Boom, there it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, my take on it. I'm gonna get to a question here in just a minute, but my take on it is this. This is what I personally did. Okay, my last relationship I had, I have like 2-3 guys that I might talk to at least 2 or 3 times a month. And when I started the relationship, we was putting everything out on the table and everything. And I was like, hey, I got some guy friends I talk to on the phone. We don't hang out or nothing like that, but these like my bros, So I just want to tell you up front, because I don't need it to be no issue. There's nothing, we never crossed the line, nothing sexual. And Fletch, you one of them. I'm like, hey, my boy Fletch, I talk to him. This is who I bounce stuff off of. And, he understands who I am as a person and been knowing me for a while and know how I am. So I like to bounce some stuff off of him and thoughts off of him. So it's nothing like that. And the dude respected it. It was really cool. So when he saw Flex text me, or this other guy text me, it was no big deal, because I let you know from the jump, hey, these are strictly my people, and I'm letting you know from the jump. So I love the fact that he was secure enough in who he was to let me be okay to have friends that I talk to, not every day, not every week. It may be 2 or 3 times a month. That's all it was. So I did respect that, and I would reciprocate the same for him if he had any female friends. My deal is, you can't just go off cutting off everybody once you start a relationship, because There's no guarantee the relationship may last. And then that friend may be bitter. Like, man, every time you get in a relationship, you cut me off. Am I really your friend type thing? So it's just a boundaries thing that we have to make sure we're not crossing and be respectful with it and still be able to keep our friendships that we had. But letting them know off top, definitely, if you have a friend like that, and Flex, you always gonna be my boy. I'm gonna let them know from the jump, you know.
Hey, I see. Why don't you take this question or this response right here, if you don't mind?
Okay, we have there Sister Tina. She's one of my favorite flowers. Just want y'all to know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but respect is key in a relationship. You can still have friendships. Just remember the boundaries you must have. And I do agree with that. Respect is it just is a part of it going all across the board. Because one thing I do realize is if a man feels disrespected, he doesn't come off loving. And if a woman doesn't feel love, she ain't respected. My thing is boundaries. I feel like for me at this particular point, after living so long and being able to, have different, being involved in relationships, I no longer set the boundaries, I am the boundary. And at this particular point, when I am the boundary, there's things that just ain't gonna pop off. It's just not gonna happen because I've been through it long enough to know that this is how it's gonna be. I'm not gonna let my man be disrespected, and I'm not gonna let anything come in where they're disrespecting my friends or people. Let me say this, not people that are friends, my bondships, because bondships and friendships is totally different. I'm gonna break that's just a little different for me, because sometimes friends just come in and they go, but there's a bonds with people that you have, and those bonds last for a long time, and you're able to talk and you're able to sit down and to get to the let me always say the balance to the imbalance. So therefore, when we're in this together, the boundaries are already there, because if you're in my bondship, you already know where we stand, and you know that this man is a part of my life. Vice versa, you know that these people are here. So it is about respecting, because at the end of the day, when the respect is gone, everything is in turmoil. Yes. You can still love someone and lose respect for them. Let me say that again. You can still love someone and lose respect for them. And when the respect is gone, you can still love and go on. And because that at this particular point, I don't have anything that I can sit down and truly say, what do I really value in you anymore? Or what value comes from you with us being, here. So I agree with that. And then she also came back and she said, I had male friends before I got married. And the crazy part is I introduced my husband to the guy friends. They have become close friends, and my husband hears from them more than I do. So let me say that about that. That part right there, just what Deb said, there's a place of security that her husband has in his wife. And the number of the male friends that she has, that he is, drawn to even be that, because 9 times out of 10, your male friends are just a male version of who you are. Yeah, male version of who you are, and that capacity pulls together where just as funny as you may be, kind-hearted, loving, prayerful, whatever, that male counterpart friend is just another part of you in a male form. And then your husband can be over there and get with him, and he was just like, it's got to be something about my wife that this is the caliber of friend he had. And then of course, if this is able to go on and he's married as well, his wife is probably saying, Tina here, and now you with her husband, and then you're able to just get together and just be this big family of people that are together. And that's even, and I'm gonna throw this in there, you can be single, because I'm single, and they have events and different things, but it's also the caliber of respect that they have for me, even as now being single, not having a partner or whatever, that they still know that there's a level that I have respect for their circle and all of those different things, that they still invite the single friend to come and to take part, because I ain't coming to disrupt no household. I'm just coming to enjoy the time and the vibe and the energy, honey. And so that's another thing that you can look into in that. But yeah, I agree with that totally. So yeah.
So I think the common part of all this is when we talk about freedom and accountability, the accountability seems to be the respect, right? Mm-hmm. So how would you address it? And anyone you can start this, if your mate is not good or not cool or not comfortable with you being friends with someone of the opposite sex, are you willing to give up their relationship, or are you going to try to get to the bottom of it? Or have you had that situation before?
Oh, that's a tough one. would I be willing to give up the relationship if we have talked about it, and if I have given him a reason to feel like he can't trust me? By all means, I need to do my part and meet him halfway and go on and shut that relationship down. But then too, my friends or the people I talk to know how I am. So if I'm telling you, hey, we're gonna have to slow down talking with each other. I'm in a relationship. We're starting off, and I need to gain his trust first or whatever. By all means, I mean, your friends should understand. I mean, it's not like you can completely cutting them off. Every now and then, hey babe, can I call G and see how he doing? You know, and just it's a communication thing and a respect thing too. I will say this: I have a perfect example how it works. My ex-husband, we have a great relationship. Some people be like, I don't understand how y'all able to do what y'all do. Have a great relationship. My ex-boyfriend was over my house cooking one night for me and my daughter. And my ex-husband came over he actually was coming over to drop my daughter off. And my boyfriend was there cooking. He didn't invite the man in. I'm literally sitting at the table with my boyfriend, my ex-husband, and my daughter all at the same time. And we're watching football. I'm so serious. But he knew how our relationship was. I was like, man, you can trust me. Till I give you a reason not to trust me, trust me. And he did. And like I said, we don't have no bad animosity. We take care of our child. It's a business relationship. So it is what it is. But I love the fact that I was literally sitting at the table with my ex-husband and boyfriend eating dinner with my daughter.
Man, that sounds like some soft porn kind of stuff. I'm just saying.
Now, and I'm laughing at a comment too. My boy Trev, he said, Amisha, he said he can still catch these hands even though we cool. I mean, it's 9 times out of 10, that's the truth.com. I'm just, hey, I feel you, Trev. And,
hey, so let me address Trev's comment from a guy point of view. Like for the most part, we can be cordial, and guys, we play it cool. We don't act like we're not rattled. But almost in any situation, most guys are sizing up the next guy, not in like a confrontational way, but we just want to know, like, what's in the room with me, that kind of thing right there. So we can be absolutely cool and cordial with you. But the trail point, what did he say right here? He can still catch these hands, even though we.
So this is let me tell you what I love about this. And this even goes when Denisha tags her husband. It's the fact of being able to be on a platform, and even though Tina can get on here, or even if it's Denisha, Tia, Heather, and anybody that has a spouse that can get on and collaborate, or just be able to be free to talk on a platform, and there's no like, I got to watch what you gonna say. You see what I'm saying? So stuff like this, because then Tina came back right and laughed. So yeah, and then let me answer the part, and I know we go over the clip when Dad was what Dad was talking about. I feel like when it comes down to it, I should be able to ask you, what is the issue, or why do you feel this way? We have to come to a ground, because I'm just not going to cut off just because you be like, well, I just don't like it. You don't give me, any reason. Some things you got to what is in you that is making you not like this person? Is there something in the past when y'all were young boys or something like that? Or, a lot of things come up from way back in the day that had nothing to even do with you, between them, and then here you are stuck in the middle, and it don't have nothing to do with you. And you caught in the middle where now it's making it about you. So I feel like there should be a ground and a place to be able to talk about it and to lay it all out on the table. And to go, because it could have been an old chick back in 77. I mean, that's just my but I'm just saying. So you really have to get to the heart of the matter and why your significant other or husband, boyfriend is feeling this way. So and then we come to a factor on this is where we are, and then we go. But we got to learn to talk about it.
Yeah,
absolutely agree. That's it. And then I feel like this show ties hand in hand in the show we had about being your true self in the beginning, because your friendships and relationships and stuff that's tied to you is part of who your true self is. So have that conversation at the start, and then maybe you won't be dealing with it later on down the line. So we have, if your mate has an issue with a platonic friend, you may want to look into the relationship the mate has. And so on this, I guess I could take it two ways. Either how Misha just addressed it, maybe it's some kind of relationship or discord between those two back in the day, or sometimes if I'm guilty and I'm doing stuff and I'm all out here being untruthful and untrustworthy, I'm trying to put that over on you. Let me throw that your way to make you look guilty or something. So I'm not exactly sure which way that comment was going, but sometimes if I'm doing wrong, then it make me feel like, oh, you must be doing wrong. So now we gotta both be wrong together. And it may be just that you just got a friend. Ain't nothing to that.
Yeah.
Nothing else to it.
Yeah,
And
it's-
sometimes I feel like this, if they feel like you communicate better with this homeboy, you know, or even if your husband's a homegirl, then there's something like, well, why we don't get to talk like that? So then that right there, it doesn't go back to the friendship. It's not the friend. It's something to do with us, something that we're lacking to meet each other on, and this other person is getting from us. Is it the fact that they're open enough to talk, or we just can laugh, or you know, you the extrovert, I'm the introvert, you know, all this, so I'm a balance of the two. Sometimes if you look at it, because you got to listen to how they're saying it to you, and then that's how you can begin to talk about where is this, or ask where is this coming from.
yeah. Yeah, that's good discussion.
Yeah, because a lot of it is that damaged goods that they didn't take care of and didn't take the time and heal from that last relationship, and you bring it into that new one. That's all it is. It's just that that last person cheated on you, so now you thinking this other person is, and everybody else on for it till you heal. That's the main thing. If you heal from your past relationships, then it shouldn't be a problem with you or your girl or your man talking to someone else. Long as it's strictly dickly and it's all about business and it's not all the time and we on the phone kikiing every time. No. By all means, like it comes with a respect and time limit on how long you on that phone too. So
And Debbie, you can't say strictly dickly
I don't
because
think you
it
meant
implies
to
something
say
else.
strictly
You gonna get somebody.
Please disregard what Deb just said, because she said as long as it's not strictly dickly. I think that's what she wanted to say.
No, I was like, because Deb, now listen,
you know what I
got to
mean?
get somebody wig split now.
Hey,
Hold on.
hey, Cookie, I was thinking about that meeting, that lunch she had with her ex and husband, and I'm like, oh, is that what we doing
That was
there?
the title of it.
Is that what we
Hey,
doing?
listen. Hey, I got plenty of love to go around. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, take the Red Bull. Take the Red Bull. It's in a green can. I don't even know if it's sugar free, but she turned it and taking it to the head.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen, hey, talking about how good of friends that we are. She didn't cut that off when I get in a relationship. They ain't going.
that's it.
They ain't
Walk around
going.
talking about strictly dickly. You better hush that up right
Girl, look, you got that too. We had to
Okay, right on trust the word.
touching my pearls, girl. I was like, girl, we got the hair up and back and clean that up in a minute.
I was with Deb. I was like, she said that. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna nod my head today.
I'm like, all these years, I didn't know you was about that life, man. Hey, so that was a good discussion.
But
We're gonna
hold
go
on,
to
little Gerard. One thing
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say, Deb,
Okay.
you said something good about like those previous relationships, that whatever may have been going on, taking it into that new relationship. And I
Mhm.
want to put it out there, that don't just start in intimate relationships. Sometimes that started with mama. So you had a bad relationship with mama, and mama didn't show you that you could trust and that you could believe in
Oh.
somebody and that you could let your guard down. So now, if your mama don't show you that everything is good and that you can trust
Okay.
your mama, you scarred from the beginning. And so it takes a really, really special person to love you out of that. And so some people got a deeper seated issue
Listen,
than just
but
a
how far do you go? How far do you go? Because this is a prime example. One guy, every woman that cheated on him, even your sister done said, yeah, the last few girls have cheated on him. This is what I did. I tried to do my part and meet you where you was at. Even though you haven't healed and I can clearly see that you got issues from your past relationship, what I did was I have my two phones. You had the password to both of them. And then I put my home security app on your phone so you can see who's coming in and out. I have nothing to
I'm
hide.
gonna have a drink on you, and I got water. Hold on.
and like I tried to meet you. Hey, while you're gone and while you out of town, boo, you can see who coming in and out of here because nobody is. My doorbell don't ring like that. So I tried to reassure you and go above and beyond to show you, hey, I don't have nothing to hide. You can pick up either one of my phones and you have the password to it. And you can even see who's ringing my doorbell when you out of town. It's nothing. But that still wasn't enough because you still had those deep-rooted issues. There was nothing I could have done for that man to trust me. It was something that he had to deal within himself. So
Man, that's good.
I'm going to put my foot forward and try and meet you where you at. But in the end, it's on them.
Exactly.
Everything
And
is
there's only
everything
so
is a
much you can
choice.
do. Misha, go ahead.
Everything is a choice, and that person has to choose to allow you in that space, regardless. And then some people, I believe that when you are attached to their life, that you are there in a place to help them. And sometimes the help comes a little bit later after the fact that you may even depart from the relationship or whatever. But as long as I can see that something was birthed out of it, then I can smile about that because, you know, I don't like to see people in broken places because I don't like to be broken, but I've been there. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so to be able to come out of that space, you want to see that, and especially our Black men. That's just a tender spot for me because so many times they've been taught not to express. So instead of expressing, they do this more that little you know, and we look at it as more being like a controlling factor. But at this particular point, I don't look at it as control. I look at them trying to now figure out what healthiness looks like because they've had so much dysfunction and no healthiness to a situation. So anything that's really healthy for them, they still look at like it's foreign to them, and it's like this defense mechanism that they jump in like, wait a minute, you know. So that's my take on that.
Yeah,
Because
that's
if
good.
that's all you know, what else can you show?
Right.
If that's all you've been raised in, all you've been taught, all you've been groomed to have, what else can you show?
Yeah. Hey, so I like this comment right here from Mr. Pondexter. He said, "What are the objectives of a relationship? Building the community or destroying it?" I think that's a big part of anything we do. When we understand the purpose of a relationship, it really navigates or it dictates how we navigate the relationship, right? So if we understand that we're trying to build a community, then we understand how necessary, in my honest opinion, how necessary freedom to operate in your purpose is. So, I mean, if we're in a relationship and we think that, hey, we're just supposed to be working and coming home and tending to whatever is under the roof, for some people that may work, but for people that have, you know, purpose in their life and it's greater than them and they are interacting with other people, you know, with similar interests or whatever, I think that we got to take that into consideration. At the end of the day, you know, the word that was used earlier from someone was maturity, right? And when you enter these relationships, especially after you've been through a few bad ones and you're growing yourself, the other person got to take into account. And to Dale's point, you know, you want to take into account that someone may have been hurt before and help them work through whatever their challenges is. But I think to their point that there's a limit there, right?
Yeah.
You can begin to do so much that you lose yourself. And now the freedom that you're trying to give in a relationship, you're actually losing it and you're not being yourself in the relationship. And it can actually work backwards. Now you end up with two people that are hurt. And, you know, that whole relationship was just bad for everybody. So I like Josh's point right there.
So I like what you just said, the two people. So it's like axe in a piece of wood. If that axe is still hitting on that piece of wood, it ain't but two things that's happening in this relationship. One is getting damaged and one is getting dull. So there's no light that comes from that. You see what I'm saying?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that analogy. So, man, we can go all day on that one. And just reminding people, we're talking about freedom in a relationship. It sounds like we're talking about friends of the opposite sex, but that's just a part of it. You know, there's freedom can be, again, in hobbies, friends. You know, we talked about social media usage or anything like that. So, moving to the next point, I see you've said this a few times on past shows that love does not demand this way. I'm wondering if you can go ahead and take a moment to speak on that.
Well, I got to just looking at how they always use, you know, 1 Corinthians, love is patient, love is kind, and all that. But I don't never hear him say this other part that comes after all this is said, and that's just love does not demand its own way. And so when I got to looking at more, I looked at it not from just the relationship of a male and a female. I went further with my dad. because my dad does not love the way or express love the way I did, I felt like, well, hey, he ain't loving me. But then I had to look at his stance, and I would always watch how when he stood, he was military. And when he would stand, even in pictures, he stood with his hands in front of him. And it was almost like he was guarded. And then I began to realize that my dad he would send these text messages and it would just say good morning. And even though he was saying good morning and I was saying it back, I would always say I love you. But there was never the I love you that came with it. So at the end of the day, I was still to a point demanding it or desiring it to be done the way I wanted it done, but not understanding that he couldn't give it that way. What I realized once I heard this, it made a lot of sense. I probably am this 10-gallon person that came from 2 half-pint parents. So that means I'm so much more of the two of them combined that they are separately, right? So if I'm coming from a half-pint dad and I'm full of this, he can't fill me up because he ain't even got the capacity to do it. Either he didn't have it, he was never groomed in it, or whatever. So I can't demand it my way. What I had to do was relinquish it, wanting it my way and receiving it only the way that he knew how. Because I realized my daddy couldn't give me what he didn't have, or my daddy couldn't give me what wasn't given to him. But what he did was he opened up the door. Eventually, as I began to keep saying, I love you, daddy, have a good day. Eventually, there was a good morning that now came with a heart and a you. Now he was saying, good morning, I love you. So even though I wanted it that way, I relinquished my will to want it, the demanding of how I wanted it, and allowed it to freely be what he needed it to be. I didn't demand that he come back. Stop wanting to demand him to come back and give me all the years that he had missed with me to now give it to me now. I was now in a place of understanding and respecting and saying that where I am now as his daughter, we start from this place and I will absorb what he has to give me now and not think about the little girl that wanted it that way. So when I thought about it from that place, then moving to a relationship on how even when men and women, especially when we're spiritual, we'll throw so much scripture in a relationship and, we one flesh and we this, that, and the other. And we've been groomed by other relationships on how we should be with our relationships when we're two totally different people that are not in the relationships of the people that gave us that advice, right? So at this particular point, it's about now getting to a place that we sit in a place to understand, once we really want to know the other person's life journey and their story and their hurt, their concerns, their dysfunctions, and all of these things that have caused them to operate a certain way, that we no longer go to two different sides of the ring that we want to fight in a situation, that we come to the middle of the ring to now say, hey, what do you desire from me? What are some things that I could do better? Because sometimes what we don't want to do is ask the question, because we'll think that it's just supposed to be, you just supposed to tell me. No, sometimes people aren't taught that way. Some people are taught to shut down, even if you ask the question. And I'm to the point, if you can't even speak it, you can write. Send me a note, honey. Because that way, if you feel like you were always interrupted in conversations as a dominant parent or anything like that, or anything that if you expressed yourself, you were torn and shut down, people, we were tracked in that, in those areas. So it's just finally just deprogramming ourselves from the way Auntie Betty and them did it, our mama. Now, some people have seen healthy relationships, and not everybody has, and everybody don't have mom and daddy. And some of us that even had mom and daddy in the house, or those that had it, because I didn't, it was dysfunction then. But they didn't. We were going to the other room and you hear them in there fussing, or they think they ain't fussing in front of you. And then sometimes you pick up those things and you take them forward in relationships. But that doesn't work with the person that you may get, that you choose to love or allow into your heart. So you have to not demand it your way. You have to desire it to be what works for both of you. Because when you do that, that means you're going to till the ground and you're going to pull up the things that are taken away from you evolving and growing and flourishing together. And you're going to get the fertilizer right in that soil so that things can be replanted, because it works for us and it works for our family. And then when it does, we're going to see some growth, some things to start to bud up out of the ground, because we chose to take out the time to find the balance to the relationship. Because you can destroy a relationship two ways, right? You can give it too much sunlight, because I use plant analogy. Too much sunlight, too much water, too much fertilizer, it's gonna die. If you give it not enough sunlight, not enough fertilizer, not enough water, it's gonna die. You have to find the balance of the water, the fertilizer, and the light, baby. And that's the love and all of that. So I'm just talking about how I done growed up, because I've been some reckless situations, over there trying to on the side of the road, or but I had to grow and I had to learn, but I had to check me. And I just look at the other person. Where's my imbalance in this thing? So that's my take on that. I mean, I went a little further, but yeah.
Oh, I was like, is this the love note segment, man? You
I mean,
blooded.
you put that in there too.
Blooded, man. That was good. That was good. So, hey, this thing about the whole analogy that some of the analogies that you create, that you use, but one of them that stood out. You talked about asking a question, and a lot of that is based off of the dust up is based off of our perception or our belief or expectation of what a relationship should be. And a lot of that is built off of, just what's false. We see it on TV.
Yes.
We see friends that have, great relationships, and we just see certain moments of it. And a lot of times, that old analogy, when the screen goes down, we don't see what goes on behind,
Absolutely.
what all it really takes. So a lot of times we come in a relationship with false expectations, hey, this is my knight in shining armor, this is the queen of my dreams, and we're gonna have great dinner dates and trips, and the bills are paid, come home to nice dinners and great sex and good, well-behaved kids, and the in-laws, and everybody's perfect, right? But when things don't go that way, it's like, hey, I didn't get in this for that. So, hey, something's not right about this relationship. And 9 times out of 10, the finger is not going to be pointed at self. We're going to always look at that other person and say, hey, you're not doing this, or you're not doing that, or that's not how it started off, or whatever the reason is. And we're going to begin to demand that they act a certain way. And my thing is that I know Tranquility talked about she not wanting to have to govern a relationship like she is the boss or a parent. And that's what begins to happen when we have these false expectations of what a relationship is. We try to govern other people, and we begin to be demanding. So that's my take on it. Dale, what do you think?
All the above. I mean, because both of y'all really hit it on the head. Like I said, like this one comment says, she said, it's too much baggage from previous relationships.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. Enough said. We got to heal people before we try to move on to something else. We got to deal with our own personal issues. Go lay on that therapist couch. You're not weak by going to go see a therapist or go talk to someone. It's only for your mental health and to be better. I hate that saying, you know better, you do better. These people don't know. And the one other saying I love, this is my favorite, is you learn from your mistakes, but a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. Sometimes you just got to get away from self and see and learn from somebody else's mistake. If you have a friendship that a friend that's in a marriage, take what they're giving you, and you're single, take what they're giving you and learn some things. You don't have to go too far. If you see that they're doing this and that, blah, this, whatever, I understand each relationship is different, but sometimes you have exactly what you need right in front of you. You just need to apply it. And when people say, you know better, you do better, that's not necessarily true. We are a lazy generation, and we don't want to put in the work. We put in the work to better ourselves, put in the work to better our relationships. Man, it won't be so many falling apart and so many hurt and broken people. So I'm going to just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Gerard, you typing so fast, you ain't giving me time to unmute myself.
Girl, moving, baby.
Goodness. Just in response to like the title, the thought, or whatever, as far as love not demanding its way, my take on it is a lot of times when you demand something, all you get is pushback. The man then ain't gonna get you nowhere. You need to
Yeah.
partner with people in order to get where you're trying to go, and
Yeah.
take kind of like a strengths-based approach. This is what we got good going for us, so let's use what we got good to get where we're trying to go, instead of trying to tell somebody this is what you're gonna do. Because when you're in a relationship, ain't nobody your kid. You can't be bossing them around.
You're
Somewhere
right.
up here at the top, it said parent child. I am not going to be raising you. I got 2 kids to raise. So I don't got all day to be bossing you around and telling you what to do. I need you to be my partner, and let's meet each other halfway and go where we're trying to go. Gerard, can you put that comment back on the screen?
Absolutely. Here we go.
So it said the media has a major role in relationship success. We almost have to go into relationships with blinders on and stay focused on what we want with our partner. And I get it. I do get it, especially in the day and age of social media, because it's right at your fingertips all the time. You see people can't even drive because they on the phone, can't walk through the mall because they on the phone. And a lot of times this phone and social media takes us away from the relationship that we're currently in, because when we laying in the bed supposed to be pillow talking, we on Facebook scrolling trying to see what's going on. So I do feel like it infiltrates our relationships and what we have going on. Everyone is afraid to be hurt, and we all take risks to be happy. True.
Yeah.
Now, did
And
you
I think
see what Joshua Pondexter said? He was like, the ideal of relationship between man and woman is God idea, and it says don't leave him out. What happens when per se God is there? Because some of us we're Christians, and we believe in Jesus and all of these different things, however, when you're coming from different perspectives, because we always say that, but you got all these denominations out here, and a lot of people have been taught differently. And instead of sometimes even relinquishing the way we've been taught, and Jesus said just to love, we'll get to fighting about that. And let me say not fight. We have a lot of disagreements or a lot of rift with that situation in the end. And so it kind of makes you wonder, if I do it that way and we say God is there or whatever, and it doesn't work, then did God fail in the relationship? Because sometimes it's that we fail to meet where God would want us to do it, because we have set up these walls. Because I wouldn't call them barriers, but we done set up whole what do you put money in? Safes, those little. No, we got vaults, baby. And when the vault is there, and you don't got the combination or the right combination to get off in there, then it's just two people failing to meet where they could have been what they needed to be, because we failed not to just relinquish a lot of things that have been thrown our way. And if we can do that, and just remember that he said, the most important is to love.
Yeah, good point. Good point. So, Deb, you want to take us to the question of the day?
And use people.
Yeah. We'll let Deb take us to the question of the day so we can move on.
Okay.
Okay. You ready for me? Okay.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
understanding how important freedom is to a relationship, we all should be able to agree that accountability is equally important. Have you ever withheld sex as a way to hold your mate accountable if they did something you didn't like? And the second part is it right or wrong to do so? When you're married, I'm gonna just throw that out there. No, stop withholding sex when you're married. If you want to, what people get it mixed up with is you get atheists and people that I don't believe in the Bible and this, that, and the other, but you married. It's called holy matrimony. It's a vow under God. So what you married for if you don't believe in God? So the thing is, when you have that vow, your body is no longer your own. No, that doesn't mean that your husband get to rape you while you sleep, because I really don't understand how that happens. I've never been in that situation. I don't want to go too deep onto that, but my deal is withholding sex is an intimate moment between a man and a woman that also brings that bond in. I know you have to have a more bond outside of just the bedroom, and intimacy can be going all day long with you just folding up the clothes or doing something extra for your mate, helping them out with something that when their plate is full. I just don't feel like in a marriage, no, you should not be withholding sex. Now, if you are boyfriend and girlfriend, I have a different point of view on that. Yes, you can. I feel like you can. Because my deal is, you haven't put no ring on my finger, so this ain't all the way yours anyway. So I'm gonna take it from you. Do what you need to do. Let's get back on the right track, and then we come back and enjoy it instead of me always arguing or you arguing and we're fighting about something. I don't know. Y'all gotta tell me how y'all feel, because I just feel like if you my boyfriend and you ain't putting no ring on it, yeah, I can withhold it from you. But if we're married, by all means. I don't want to go to bed angry, and I don't plan on ever going to bed angry. Yes, we need to fix it. But with withholding sex, it does open up for other people to come in. Because like they say, what you want to do, someone else will. You do want to please your mate, but they also got to please you too, because there is a reason why you're trying to withhold it and a reason why you're mad. So let's get to the bottom of it so we can come back and enjoy sex.
Hey, before we go, so Misha, before you answer, let me just add it to context. Remember, we're talking about freedom. So if someone's trying to control a person, for something they don't like that they're doing, and using sex as a way to control them.
I'm really glad that my screen is freezing right now.
James said he disagreed.
Well, my thing is like this. I don't feel. Let me make sure I get this right. Have you ever withheld sex to your mate from your mate? Just to like get back at him? No, I don't do it to get back at him. Now, what I don't do, I don't feel. And I'm laughing at Denisha because she said angry sex is time the best sex. We can have sex and I can still be mad. For me, because you worded it, Debbie, as intimate. There's no way if we're angry that there's some intimacy that comes from me. Because at this particular point, I'm not gonna just feel like just because you my husband and we done had this little chat and then next thing you want to do is just want to touch and rub and whatever. Because sometimes for people like that, that's a form of manipulation. You've done something wrong. This is how you think it's gonna be fixed. And then if this is a continued pattern, then we can continue to operate that way. My thing is if something's a little bit off and I don't feel like it, 9 times out of 10, our partners know that when we ain't in the mood, and then they'll do that little trickery, rub up against you, standing behind, all that type of stuff. But women, most of the time, if we do it, that's controlling the narrative. I ain't never really seen a man withhold sex technically, but they can do it too, for whatever reason. You could have spent too much money, but does it make it right? But I don't feel like I'm punishing you, because I don't want to punish you. I want us to be able to be, to talk about some stuff. And once we talk about it, and then there's the atmosphere ain't tense and heavy, because if we angry, first of all, I don't got a lot of hair. I don't even want you to feel like you can pull the little stuff I got. I ain't for chokeholds or none of that, arrest me or whatever, unless it's the time that I want to role play, and that's a part of, our date night. But that angry stuff, Denisha, I'm just saying you like what you like, baby. I'm just saying, because we love when you say that. But I'm just saying that ain't gonna work, because it ain't the best for me. You know what I'm saying? You get to calling, talking noise and saying, I'm just saying, anyway.
Hey, Denisha sound like she the one that's making folks mad just so she can have the angry sex.
I don't know. She gonna probably have to chime in on Denisha. She said you do it on purpose. The court said it's a crime.
Oh yeah, that was to response to Deb saying they trying to take it. So
watch this. Then Deb, you said once again when I fell back on the Bible, when we throw up that party is we are one flesh, and your body is not your own. Well, wait a minute. At the end of the day, Christ said, you're supposed to treat your wife like he treated the church. And if you ain't treating me like him, he ain't telling me to drop him. He ain't saying do it anyway, baby. No.
Hey, I'm a Christian, and if God say your body is mine, hey, come on with it.
Well, then if he say you're supposed to treat me like you treat the church, you better come on with that too. It can't be a double standard. You can't be over here not tenning, and then over here we one flesh.
Miss Cookie.
I don't have a real stance on it. I just feel like however I feel in that moment. I'm not gonna withhold sex just to be spiteful. Yes, if I'm still mad at you, I want to talk about it so we can get back on the right page, because there's no reason for me to be withholding sex and going days without sex because I'm mad at you. Why can't we nip this in the bud, grow from it, and keep it moving? What's wrong with handling the situation then? and not going to bed mad and fixing the situation so we don't have to withhold sex.
Yeah, but Deb, you said watch this. So I'm finna come over here for this. Because you gave me two things a while ago. You said if he was the boyfriend and y'all whatever. So my thing is if you do this and you ain't gotta give him none because he ain't put no ring on your finger. So this how you doing it as y'all go together. Then say he put the ring on it and y'all get married. Now you done already did it with her with him as a boyfriend. So he thinking this gonna still be happening when y'all get married. How do you balance that ID? Do you say, baby, now that's how I did it when I had you guys? I didn't have no ring. Now that I had a ring, that ain't gonna happen. What you gonna do? Tell me, because I got to hear your point of view on that.
I mean, I'm just gonna be like, because the roles change. My role has changed from a girlfriend to a
man. It's still the same man.
Still, but your role has changed because now you have more of a responsibility.
It's still the same man, Deb.
True, but we have a different. You have a different response. I'm the same person I am, but then I have a child. Now I have a different responsibility because I'm in a different type of relationship.
We ain't talking about the child. We talking about the
No, I'm saying I'm still the same person, but the relationship status has changed. I have changed from a single person to a married person. I have changed from a no mom person to being a mom. I'm still the same person, but when that status change, also some things and some level of maturity or a level of handling things differently changes.
Yeah.
Deb said that the first time when he was the boyfriend and he said, girl, whose is this? She said, it's still mine. But then after they said, I do, when he said, girl, whose is this? Said, it's yours, daddy. That's what happened.
Hey, that's Bible.
I like that.
That's Bible. Your body is not your own. Hey, it's all those
when you stuck on that one part.
Hey, I like that verse, boy. Listen.
Now, Jermaine has been saying some things, and I think I would say looked over it. I don't want to say looked over there, but there's a couple of things that stuck out because he was saying about being risk, that some people are bigger risk takers. That was earlier part. And then he also said something about from another man's perspective, he said it's just high risk. So I'm thinking about the freedom or just the having male friends in the relationship. But then he also came through now and he's saying that everyone has their own standards. It helps to see eye to eye on each other's standards up front. That sets a good foundation for the relationship. Absolutely.
Yeah, good deal.
Our foundation.
Like, I didn't want you to think we was good no because I had been seeing it and never got back to it. But we are thankful that you are here today, Mr. Jermaine.
Yeah. Hey, let's get Cookie to take on some stuff. Cookie.
Gerard just ain't gonna let me make it. I done tried to skip this question about 5 times and he keeps coming back. So my take on it, as far as withholding, I feel like in a relationship, I shouldn't have to withhold anything from you to get you to do what I want to do. I feel like I should be able to have a conversation with you about whatever it is. So I'm not going to use it as like a bargaining tool, like, oh, you ain't cut the grass today, you ain't getting none of this pie. Like, I feel like whatever it is, we should be able to talk through it and figure it out. Now, granted, if we pissed off at each other, you not finna come. We just ain't gonna be able to do it.
Ain't no pounds in the night, baby.
Now, if we pissed off at each other, you ain't finna go nowhere. You can get in there on that couch and I'm getting here on this bed and we can talk about it tomorrow. But we not gonna have sex and then we both mad. We can't even talk or do nothing. And after we get done, we just gotta go to sleep because we still mad about it. Nah, if I'm that mad, go and leave me alone. I'm gonna leave you alone. We'll deal with it tomorrow. But I ain't gonna say, oh, you didn't do what I wanted you to do, so I'm not gonna give you.
So let me ask y'all something. So y'all saying that now, if there's beef, like it's not happening. Did that change as you got older? Like when you were younger, were you able to still have sex if you were upset?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, because it used to change my mood. I wasn't. I mean,
the only way that happened was in the club and we had a couple of drinks and your mind just was not in that place, because that's most of the time when them spirits, because that's why they got these names for these drinks. I understand them now. Spirits and cocktails and all this type of stuff. The spirits over there making
cocktails.
Yeah, cocktails and spirits and stuff. So younger, I think, we still not gonna be over there when we mad. Now I do like what Denisha said. I was gonna talk about that. If we can talk, we're gonna talk about it. Sometimes you can't talk that night. Like she said, I'm super outspoken. So sometimes we need to go to bed without talking about it, because I want to think about the situation so that I can choose my words wisely, because once it's said, you can't take it back. I'm not staying up all night to figure it out. Now, I can agree with that. Because sometimes if you're not really listening to comprehend, we're just trying to prove who right or wrong. We finna have all these words flying out our mouth, baby. And I'm talking about my tongue back in the day was like a whole, those knives that they used to just cut up. They can slice through meat, butter, bricks, and wood. It was that tight, it was really sharp. And I had to remember because once you say words, I don't care what nobody said. They said sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. They do, and they stick with you. Because sometimes you're driving to Walmart, baby, you're supposed to be over here at Target, somewhere else, and all you can hear is what somebody does said, and it's playing over and over. But I've learned, being older, you don't have to be forced into anything. You do not have to do it just because they want it that night, just to say, well, you got to do it because this is what it is about. It's not intimate at this time. It's forced. And at the end of the day, to me, it is almost like you taking it, because I don't want to do it. Because 9 times out of 10, guess what you do? You ain't moving. You ain't into it. You just laying there, and he just humping on you. And even if a woman take it, he just laying on his back, and she choose to do a position that works for her, and she gonna get what she wants to get out of it, and she gonna roll over and go to sleep. He gonna get what he want, and he gonna get that off, and he gonna roll over there, and he gonna go to sleep. It's about self gratification. Get what you need out of it, because we wasn't in it together. I promise you, we wasn't.
Yeah. Hey. Nate said she definitely was more willing.
I digress. I digress. Debbie J, I digress.
Man, let me find out. Hey, so Nate, she said I was definitely more willing to do it younger. It's easier to withhold now. So, yeah.
And maybe Amitra said, yes, it changed, because as we got older, we can do it ourselves.
Ooh, wait a minute. You better find a spray at.
It ain't the same.
And the niches know about them spirits. I tell you, spirits in them drinks are what they call them.
Hey,
what's
that?
Gerard said it ain't the same. It might be better. You better hush.
Hey, if it is, then go be it. Hey, what we talked about last week, how long they said the women don't want no man jumping on her for 5 hours and doing all that crazy stuff anyway.
Oh, you're not finna be doing. We said pounce, and Gerard was like, "What?" You know,
they done said like Silly and Mister on Color Purple. He just lay on top and do his beat.
That part, you just do your beat.
Hey, hold on, they on something. Okay. All right, this show is getting
Lord, she said a detachable shower head.
Hey, I thought we were talking about freedom in a relationship, boy.
You free to do what you want to do to your own body.
Hey, okay, that's one way to look at it. All right.
Oh Lord, Misha, you done love noted us up earlier. You got something else left in you over there.
No, just be free to be you till be you in the relationship. And talk to your partners. If I don't express communication enough, that's probably because I'm not looking at life somewhere along the way. Communication wasn't always at the top, or it wasn't. I'm not gonna say it wasn't there. We just didn't know how to do it. Because if one talks from one angle and one talks from the other, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard, but you can get there. But you have to take the frustration out, because sometimes we get frustrated if a partner ain't understanding what we're saying right off the top, and we be like, "Ooh, child, it's more draining to talk to you than just talk to somebody else," and that doesn't make it right. But don't lose your freedom in wanting a relationship, because so many times we dummy ourselves down to have something, and I don't think that's healthy, because you get in it, and at the end of the day, when you do it and you're not able to just be you begin to pick up a lot of different weights in your mind, your emotions, physically, and all of these different things. And I feel like when you're free to be yourself with the person that you're with, so much flourishes when you two are together. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much you can laugh about, you can talk about, even if it ain't the funniest to me, sometimes the jokes begin to be a little bit funny, depending on how he worded it or how she worded it, just to a capacity where the person that's listening, they're understanding. So don't lose yourself. If anything that you get attached to, you should be able to still flourish and grow. You should go to a higher level. Nothing should be a digress for you. And you should be able to talk about these things. So just be free to be you. And don't demand that somebody love you the way that they really can't. But try to see the perspective on which way they're coming to love you, and to understand that everybody wasn't taught to love the same way. People haven't seen love in the right manner. And we so many times we want to love others the way we've seen other people love, and that don't work for us. You got to love the way it works for each other. And when it does work your way, then you're gonna always have a nice pulse that ain't gonna be about the flat line. And even if it goes to a low pulse, that you're willing to do the work to get that pulse back by not demanding your own way. Because at the end of the day, everything is still a choice. Even when we choose a relationship with the Lord, we have to choose to want to go into that thing, and we have to choose to put in work. So many times he be trying to get us to do it a different way, and we still want to do it at our will, and our will don't always work. And then that's when you have to say, I'm trying to show you a better way. And sometimes when you get, not sometimes, when you get attached to the right person that's for you, they're just there to help you see another way, from the way that you were either groomed with your mother, or past relationships, divorces, and all of that, different things like that. So just find your way, find your rhythm, find your heartbeat, and let that work for you. Because I promise you, some things can be on life support, and some people just pull the plug. If it's work, you really putting in the work, and that's what you desire to have, you will do it. I know sometimes that we get, we'll go into things with our heart just really on the forefront, because we see the what we could have in this relationship. But if the two people aren't working to get to that place and yielding to what each other need, then something that could have been beautiful, it slowly deteriorates. And so I just, I've always taught that when you're doing your best to do it and you got resistance, I just kind of remember about football. Everybody, you get in the end zone. And so many times, if the right receiver or the running back know what they want out of the relationship, I don't care if they get shut down on the 1 yard line, they gonna find the right route to get into the end zone. So I just suggest to any man or woman, you don't come out of the end zone. You don't go to the 20, to the 80, or to the 50 if they're not even willing to come halfway to where you are to reach there. You stay in the end zone, and they're gonna figure out the route that they need to run to get you there. So, to get to you, and that's male or female. So if you don't understand football, you can get it. You can get on there and understand what I'm talking about. It's about the way you run the route. You got to figure out the play. So figure it out. That's what you want. If not, then just keep getting shut down in the red zone and never get in there, because that's what you want, and leave it at that. And game over. Buzzer.
Right on.
That's it.
Cold
Drop
blooded.
mic, walk out. I feel like that put it in a man perspective when you tied it into football. There it is. They understand it now.
Perhaps.
Trevor said, I'm guilty of being demanding, but I feel like I'm only like that when I'm not being heard. Gerard's. Oh, I'm working on that though. So, and I know Heather. I've known Heather forever.
That's another one of my little babies, flowers. I love these women on here.
Yes. I say Heather can be sweet as pie, but if you mess with Heather, Heather will get you. And so just the fact that you even willing to work on it says a lot, because some people get in a place where it's just like, that's who I am, that's what I do, that's how I'm gonna be, and they not willing to change. So if you're willing to change and willing to make efforts to get where you're going, then you're going in the right direction. And then your partner just got to be willing, like Misha said, to meet you there, to help you. And don't just sit back and watch your partner struggle. Be a helpmate to them. Get them where they want to go. When something wrong, talk to them. When something good, tell them, baby, you doing good. Like that way, they give them that boost of confidence that they need to keep going in the right direction. So yes, I absolutely concur. I love it. I love it. I love it.
And I love to see the couples. I love to see the couples on here interacting and talking. And even though I'm single, it's still, this is what it's all about. And these are things that we haven't seen, growing up. Either the woman can go out and she can talk, whatever. We do these little private women's groups or just men groups, but we've lost the foundation of having couples nights and couple meetings to talk about these things to help other people. Older relationships don't talk anymore. We don't give examples or whatever. So for me, even to see a middle class generation that's my age or even younger, that even are probably at the second round of trying love again, but to get on here and to talk and be open, and your spouses are here with you or they're in the room or whatever, that's a joy for me, honey. I'm over here like, yes, that's just how, EIC be over here. So I be over cheering y'all on, because it's important. And I love the vulnerability and the transparency that you all give to us when you're here as couples. And it just helps to let us know that it is possible, even when you starting over or you're trying love again. Because love is out there. It's just if you want it. Everybody don't want it again, but there are people that do. And if it didn't work, you know, with that one person, like I said, we just failed to meet where we needed to, and that's fine, and it's okay. But going forward, just do and be the best you can for the next person that you allow into your life. And at the end of the day, Cookie did say something about Gerard type, so he threw me off. But anyway, just being able to meet in that place together, because you got to be willing to do it. Let's just say that. You got to make the choice and the decision to say, we're going to do this together. And there may be some things that I'm going to mess up on and some things that I don't understand. But baby, we're going to do our best to do what we need to do for one another, because we can make this love thing last forever. Make it last forever. And
Hey.
okay, all right. I regress. Okay, Gerard.
Alicia, it was
Yes.
a big yesterday. Talk to us about it. Tell me all about it.
Well, honey, let's say. Matter of fact, LaShonda is not on here tonight, but she had an event that she does every year, which is in honor of her mother, Miss Catherine. She's no longer with us, but she's a foundation that she gives out scholarships to children that are finishing high school, going on to college. But it's also about knowing your worth. And this is her shirt from last year. I wore the other one yesterday, so I didn't put it back on. But this is about knowing your worth, and knowing your worth comes across the board, not just in knowing your worth in the relationship with the man, but just knowing your worth as a whole, as a friend, in business, whatever. You got to know your worth. And when you know your worth, you no longer have to keep talking about, well, I know my worth. Now you know that you're worthy of the things that are for you. You know what I'm saying? And so it was just about the fact that we had Benita, which is another one of our podcast babies, that she was one of the speakers. And of course, LaShonda, she spoke. And these were two women that were now coming from the darkness, and I call them the lotus flower, that they were coming out of the mud through all the things that had come their way, because one, they lost a husband and two children. But Benita lost a husband. We had her on the show 6 months apart, the husband, and then her son. And then we had LaShonda, which lost a husband and her mother. And then just to even listen on the common things that they had that the husband did was the fact that they didn't pump gas, and they didn't, buy the groceries and things like that, or take out the trash. And because that was gone, they had to do it. And they actually said they cried. And I was like, whoa. And for me, I was like, well, in my relationship, I done pumped the gas, took out the trash, and all of this. So I couldn't cry from that perspective, but I knew it was something different. And that's not taken away from my relationship to the men that I had, and saying that they weren't a good man. It's just that was just something that when you're used to doing, you just kind of do it. But they didn't have to do it because they did it. And now that was something that they didn't have. But just for them to get up, to be able to now to be free, to express that, and to truly just embark in a new place of just releasing it, but not forgetting that these people existed in their lives, but they deposited something in them that still allows them to continue to move on, even in the absence of. And then at the end of the day, it was just to be able to know that their hearts were still open to be able to love again. And LaShonda, she had, her ex-husband's, well, I ain't gonna say her husband's family there, and she was just letting them know, hey, I want to be married again, and I don't want y'all being mad, because this is what I desire. And so I was a speaker before, and I understand how you have to go out there. But then I got, like Denisha was saying, thank you, babe. And I was a comedian, so I told Mama, I can do my job in the spirit, but I can't bring laughter. But what it showed me was that the fact of being able to be an atmosphere changer, because when you go from being invited to be on the panel to being the MC has a greater responsibility, and they have to keep the flow and the momentum. So that showed me some other things, but it was powerful. Yokes were broken. I love the way the speaker Tara, she came through that thing, and she was talking about the ring, the girl that comes out when you having a boxing match. She had one job, and that was to come up with what round it was. And she was letting us know that when we were in a fight, the bell rings and we got to start the fight, and then the bell rings and we got to end the fight. And that's letting you know that now you're going to the next round. Because even though you made it through round 3 and 4, you made it through something. And that means you got purpose that you still got to do. And that means the next round going to come, and you got to be prepared. And then she used a scenario, Red Rover, send Misha right over. I just use me. And when you look at that scenario, when we're thinking about Red Rover, it's on how you connect with the people that's on the other side. So you're really looking at your enemy, and you're over here, and you're like, Where's the weakest link in there? Because most of the time we either holding hands or we holding it like that. But when you link up, you got to link up with your hands. When you get that next person, you got to link up right. And then we would talk about how when you do that, you got to have some gangsters on your side when you going through this place of knowing your worth. I was telling them I want chicks in high heels, low heels, kitty heels, tennis shoes, compact boots, flip flops, whatever shoe work for you. I just need you to come gangster. You got to know that in this scenario that you can't have weak people on your team. Now, the disclaimer to that is this: even if they are weak, if they're willing to come in and get some nurturing to say, this is how I get stronger, to be strengthened, to be able to war with you and to be some strength for you, then we can do that. But if it's a choice that they choose not to, that don't mean I don't love you. We just can't link up, because I can't have weak links when I'm going to the next level. So knowing your worth, no, you got to know what you know. So it was powerful. It was good to see these women come out of the places that really could have kept them in a place of suppression and depression, but they chose to find the purpose in being worthy enough to be chosen by God to go through that process. Because the truth is, we're gonna all go through something. Death is for everybody. I mean, you may not want it, but we all leave here. It's what you do while you're here on this earth that counts. How you will impact people's lives and how you're out here doing what we need to do in the communities and all of these different things. And so the Floor is Yours podcast this year, we were able to be a blessing to the students that were going out, going forward. We were able to give each one of those $200 apiece, and there were only 2 recipients. So we were able to be a part of building up the community and the youth. Because if we're going to talk about it on our panel, we have to now put our money, our time, and our love and our presence in these places that we speak a lot about. I know we talk about relationships, male and female. We talk about relationships with children and all that. We put everything on the board. So we just want to be able to say that if we're gonna be bold enough to put it on our platform, that we are definitely going to be a powerful force to be present. And so we even have, people on our panel that have children are doing things. So I relinquish my talking time now to say that this, even though this was good for us, we're still going to keep acknowledging the things that are going forward. So I'm going to give it over to Cookie. But if you missed it, this is going to come back next year again. And we'll be talking more about domestic violence next year, because that's about knowing your worth too. Because so knowing your worth is across the board. But Cookie, I'm going to give it to you so that you could talk about our little man, the gentleman in your life that's doing great things at a young age. So I pass it over to you.
Yes, and I was going to say, I got to be in the building for Know Your Worth next year, because I didn't see it until after we had scheduled something this year. And actually, the only reason why I saw it was one of the ladies I invited to come sit with us was like, oh, well, I'm going to a conference. I'm like, well, what is it? So she sent it to me, and I was like, oh, my gosh. So next year, make sure you got to put it on the show. You got to talk about it so I can be in the building, because it was amazing, amazing, amazing. So yesterday, we had an event at Resilient Studios, and it was a pop-up shop. And I love being able to support small business. I love spending time with the small business owners. But yesterday, I was fed so much just in the network and the interacting with people. And so sometimes it isn't even about whatever product I can buy. I got a cute shirt, y'all. It's a bad shirt. I can't wait to wear it. But the spirit that was in the building was so much bigger than all of the products I got. We had ladies come in from Little Rock, and those ladies just blessed me. We prayed at the end of the event. It was just really, really good. But my baby, he got connected yesterday. Gerard confusing me with whatever he doing to me on the screen. But it was so good. He is in the Scholars here in Texarkana. It's an organization with youth that they work in the community. They are very academically advanced. Like, they do great things, and I love it. And I'm actually gonna let him come talk. For anybody that saw my page today, he was on the radio this morning on, and he actually did so well. They invited him to come back again. So that means I can't talk good. I'm going to be like him when I grow up, because ain't nobody inviting me to be on the radio. So I'm going to let him talk for himself.
Yay.
My name is Aiden Howard, and on June 19th, I'll be partnering with the Scholars to host the Black Business Parade. My motivation is my mother herself. She started a physical training business in 2019. Is that correct? And I know how, since she's a single mother, I saw how hard it would be for her to do it all by herself. So with other small businesses, I'm interested in helping them watch their name. So I want to help them.
So he is hosting the Juneteenth parade here in Texarkana, downtown Texarkana, and it is not like closed off to anybody. Anybody can come be in the parade. So if you got a business, get your float together and come be in the parade. If you attend a school and y'all got a band or whatever, want to come be in the parade, come be in the parade. If you are just a person that likes to ride your motorcycle, bring your motorcycle and be in the parade, or your horse or your trike or whatever you want to ride. So he's going to organize the entire parade. He does have, I think it's down at the bottom, Gerard, but he has the phone number and the email address listed on this flyer. And you can always check it out. It's on my Coach Cookie page on Facebook, on Instagram, at Coach Cookie 02. And so you can get signed up for this parade. Now, we are going to do judges. We're going to do a vote with the community, and we're going to determine who had the best entry in the parade. And it's going to be a cash prize for that grand prize winner. We are doing a $25 registration fee, but that fee is going to be to donate to the scholars and to pour into the kids fund. So you will be pouring into the community, like our youth are our future. And I had this conversation yesterday. I go to church and everybody at the church is old. Like, I don't want to call people old. They're 70 and above. And so like 70 is the youngest person in the church. Well, at some point, them 70-year-olds gonna die off. We need some kids to keep things going. So this is what he's been doing. He is amazing. I'm gonna be like him when I grow up. I just ain't made it to that point in life yet, but I'm gonna be
someday, Mom. Someday. And also, I would like to say, if you or anybody you know owns a business, please contact me at 903-402-5225, or you could email me at juneteenthparade2021@gmail.com, and just send me your business so you can be involved in the parade. You can cash at me at cash sign Aiden D Tycoonis, and I will get you hooked up.
And he does advertising as well. So if you got a business or something, get with him to set you up for advertising. Like, he's doing so many things. So I think it's wonderful. But y'all sign up for this Juneteenth parade. And if you don't want to be in the parade, come downtown and watch the parade. They're going to have festivities all day long. They'll have vendors downtown as well as at Resilient Studios. So get your vendor spot. They're going to have food trucks. They're going to have games. They'll have a video game truck. So it's going to be a big event. So let's celebrate.
Hey, let's celebrate Aiden, man. Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something, Aiden. Aiden, I hope you understand how Miss Misha's about to say this. The Lord knew that He was going to make me older and send me, way before you. Because if I was younger, I would probably be like, Aiden, my name is Miss Amisha, and or I would say Amisha. I'd be trying to date you, honey. I'm gonna just ask you.
Thank you.
Yeah, honey. I'm gonna just say if the Lord can make him in a older size, you know what I'm saying? But you are truly amazing. I really admire you. You are such a gentleman, and you are definitely your mother's. I would call her just you. You are just like her protector, but you definitely see the vision that your mother has, and you even roll with that. But then the fact that you said you saw it's going to be kind of hard for her, and you wanted to help her out. So I salute you, young man. You are going to be extraordinary in your adult life, because you are, baby, over the top right about now. So I salute you, young king.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for letting me be on the show.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Girl. I ain't got no young daughters. Lord have mercy.
Listen, I ain't ready for them high school years because I'm gonna be beating them off. Listen, back up off my baby. We got stuff to do.
Just tell them to call me AT. I'll show up, baby.
Yeah.
Yes. So y'all come out and support in any events, not just ours, anything we have here in Texarkana, anything we have abroad, and then support the floor is yours. It's like Anthony said, no flirting with my family. He said,
Baby, I don't Anthony. Can I block Anthony? I'm gonna find him in the little bit. I'm gonna block him.
Hey, look what Nate said.
all right,
Honey, that's what I'm talking about. Shoot.
How old is he?
12.
21.
Oh, I have a 10-year-old daughter. She'll be
See that?
11 next month. Is she cute? Damn it, get your act together, girl.
Listen, we might be able to put something together. I can be like, I know your mama, so I know what y'all can and can't be in here talking about.
Your voice go out said your lips still shining, they better be.
Yes. Yes. So, but we just want to support, and the floor is yours. I love that the podcast pours into the community. So, always trying to support, always trying to be out there. So let's do it. Let's get it. Let's do it. All right.
Yes.
So we're gonna wrap up. Let's see. The men of the floor is yours are doing a show called RMT. Gerard, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so this show is called Real Men Talk, and the focus is going to be on what we can do as men to become better. We talk a lot about communicating, and sometimes you looked at it as a little bit soft, if you talk a lot and you don't man up and just take what the world's throwing at you. But we're trying to change that narrative, and again, that kind of goes with the name, that Real Men Talk. So I'm just going to share this quick little promo. It'll be on Facebook later for everyone to see, but just to give you a little idea of what the show Tuesday is going to be about. So get your attention real quick, and here we go.
If I had a group of brothers that I could confide in, a group of brothers that encourage me to be the best man possible, that hold me accountable for my actions, but brothers that wouldn't beat me down when I fall short. If I had brothers like that in my life, I'd be more open to my challenges. I wouldn't be afraid of being vulnerable and transparent. I'd be more deliberate in my actions, not afraid of failure. I wouldn't act like everything is okay when I'm hurting inside. It seems like it's an all-out assault from the world on black men, and the hurtful words from my lady cut deep. I can't show my pain because if she knew that she hurt me, she would do it over and over again, hoping that each time would cut deeper than the last. I do understand that women have challenges too. That's why I try so hard to be the strength she needs. But I need a band of brothers who understand that sometimes I simply want them to listen. Sometimes I need advice, but other times I need a shoulder to lean on. I need a band of brothers that create a safe space that gives us a chance to talk about our fears, because it's therapeutic when real men talk.
Now, boy, you got me on that one.
I
Oh,
like
my bad, had on me. So
We
you
don't.
feeling that?
You done took us to Silence of the Lamb. That right
I
there.
know, right?
Ooh.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I know it's for the men, but I'll probably just let me just sit it. I'll be quiet. I just want to listen.
she ain't gonna be quiet.
In the praise.
Hey, listen. So
I'll be
yeah,
over the tissue. I'll be like, oh
yeah. So yeah, we just want to again just change the narrative and make people understand that it's necessary to talk and to communicate and create the safe space for guys to openly talk, right, without fear of judgment and things of that nature, right there. Because we know the thing, right? The old saying, like you build it in and hold it in, then eventually get just built up so much that it's going to release, like energy is going to get released. So
Lord.
Tuesday at 7 p.m. is going to be the Men of the Floor is Yours podcast. Myself, Superman T. Will, King James, and TJ the Realist. And I got a good friend of mine, LaRon Brenton. He's going to be on. And man, we're just going to get raw and real. And again, this is not to talk about blame the world about what we're going through. It's like understanding what our challenges are and what do we need to do to move through them. So it's going to be a good show, man. I hope y'all all take your time to be a part and tune in. So
They asked a question. She said, "Are you gonna share the reel? Because she would like to share it."
what? Yes, I will. Yes. So
Yeah.
I'm going to share the post tonight, and so look for it and please share it, man. Get the word out. You got husbands, brothers, uncles, dads. Man, bring them to the show. We want everybody's perspective, and not just men. We want the women to listen in and ask questions and understand that we need y'all to be our allies as we grow. The Bible says it's not good that man should be alone. So we understand that for us to be the best that we can be, we need you pushing us and encouraging us in a good way. So, man, we're going to get raw. We're going to get real. We hope we jerk some tears out the eyes and, man, just be a part of us. And this is going to be the first of many. Real Men Talk, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time here on the Floor is Yours podcast.
Hey, and before we go, I want to throw this out there. We have Derek Keener, which has been he's a brother to us, but then he's also been on our show. We asked that you would solicit prayers for his mother on tonight. Before I got on the show, I saw online that his mother had been rushed to the hospital earlier part of the day. They don't know specifically what is wrong with her, but of course, they are asking for prayers for her, and not only just for her, but for them, because they are her sons, and men do hurt, and they come and they've been, they've had a lot to go on. So at the end of the day, even if you have some things that you are going through, and even with your family that we don't know about, we will be covering you all in prayers tonight. At least I say that because I put it out there, but they'll join in too. And we just want you to know that we're just not here for you on a level to just, to have the floor to talk about, all the other things that we do. But we do have a faith base that we stand on, and we do have a heart for the people and what the people go through. And you are family to us. And so anything that you are in need of from God, we ask that he would do on tonight for all of you. Anybody that is this needing some healing or some restoration in broken places, we just ask that God would tend to y'all on tonight and to give you strength. That if you are doing some things, and even one of our very own Tranquil T, her family members, she had lost a family member. So that's another reason that she's not here. So not only do we cover her, we cover all of y'all, and we love y'all. Okay. So just know that we're here in every capacity: faith, prayer, love, light, inspiration, comic, love, anything. That's what we're here for. But we're praying all for those that are weary in spirit tonight, heavy in heart, and broken in spirit. So we love y'all.
Love it. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank you, Misha, for that. We absolutely need to pray over one another and encourage one another, be there for one another. So I absolutely agree. Another great show, crew. I appreciate all of y'all. If you missed part of the show, go back and watch it. Make sure you like it. Make sure you share it. Follow us on YouTube, and tune in on Tuesday for Real Man Talk at 7 p.m. so we can catch that show. All right. Superman T will have a show on Wednesday about buying real estate. So if you want to do that, hop in there. If you don't want to do that, hop in there. Maybe he'll convince you to do it. So we on either way. All right. So thank y'all again. Flex, take us out of here.
Hey.
Now it's my turn to tell y'all about my big bro Gerard and the podcast crew. From TJ the realist, Miss Cookie the professor, and you can't forget about the inspiration shit. They talk about it all, got advice for us all. You'll never know how deep the talks will go. On the weekdays, the weekends, they be going live with the topics. Then they do the segment where the floor is yours. You can post your comments, you can post your statements, yeah. You can ask your questions, They can help you get your life moving in the right direction. If you need advice on marriage, advice on finance, advice on healing, advice on credit, this the podcast that you need to check out. Go ahead and tune in, you'll feel what I'm talking about.
Baby, don't forget the floor is yours. Yeah, baby, I mean the floor is yours. If it come down to the floor is yours. Let me show you how blue the floor is yours. Hey, the floor is yours. The floor is yours. Na 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 na. The floor is yours. The floor is yours. Na 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 na. The floor is yours.
Love you. Bye.
Peace out.